Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of this year's My Player Career Mode for FIFA 19. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this first episode to come out. I was originally planning on doing this when the full game was released on the 25th, but I've had numerous comments asking me to upload the first episode, and so I had to give you guys what you wanted. Now, quickly before we get into the whole swing of today's episode, because I want to jump straight into the action to allow you guys to be able to see everything that's going on. This year, I put out a little, thing on the community section where I explained something. I wanted to do the player career mode a little bit differently. I wanted to try and take a team and try and help them become better rather than just maybe leaving after things necessarily haven't gone our way. So the first couple of seasons are going to be spent trying to improve whichever team we have chosen to join first, and then after that, we will reevaluate our situation and see what's going to happen. But I put a little thing as well in the community section asking what sort of league you wanted us to start off in, and then I would pick my team from that. You guys, according to 400 or something votes, 500 maybe, it was the Championship that won it. And I'm quite glad about that, because I've got to be honest with you guys, this season I've watched a bit more Championship football than I have Premier League. So, yeah, been a bit more enjoyable, the Championship. I think it's a bit more of a competitive league this year as well, so quite happy to be starting off in there. For the team, I decided that we would join Derby County. So we're going to be joining Frank Lampard on his debut as a manager. We're going to try and help him achieve his goals. Unfortunately, guys, he's actually not in the game as a manager, which sucks, but we can pretend that he is. We can pretend that we've been given our chance by one Frank Lampard, who must know his business. But for the actual kind of thing, I decided in the end to go over striker this year. You remember FIFA 17, DJWood again, he's back. We did DJWood in FIFA 17. We were a striker, we scored numerous goals, and it lasted a very long time with us playing for some of the best clubs in and around Europe. So I feel like we have to go and be a striker again this year. I missed the year because last year we were with Ben and we chose Cam for that. And of course, then we played the player career story where we added G to the mix and he was a winger. So I felt like for my player this year, I had to bring back the striking role. So Derby's the club we're going to be starting out with. We're our forward. We're going to try and make a name for ourselves in the world of football, however we can do it. But of course, we will decide on what comes later on. We were given the opportunity nice and early on, actually, to represent this Derby side in the pre-season tour against Deportivo La Coruña. And actually, we started off pretty well, forcing the goalkeeper into a couple of early saves, but nothing really major. This one, the pick of the two for me, as he gets a good, strong hand to this before beating it away. Should mention as well, this first episode is going to be post-commentary, but I am planning on having the next one as live commentary for you all to enjoy, because I do like a bit of live com. The only issue is, with the 10 hours that we only get from EA Access, it's quite difficult to do it because I need everything set up and ready to go, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to get it all set up and such. So, I will be adding live commentary when the full game is released on the 25th, because you're going to be watching this either on the 23rd or the 24th, and then the next episode will be on the 25th for you all to enjoy. But this game right here, we did everything we could to try and put the ball in the back of the net. I had about 2 chances. The rest of my teammates had a couple of chances as well, but I don't know what it was. The ball just didn't seem to want to go in the back of the net for Derby. And even though we tried so hard, we found ourselves 0-0 up until the last kick of the game, pretty much, where it was actually Deportivo who would go in front. I mean, that right there is a ridiculous strike. I mean, if I've ever seen a strike good enough, that is it. Did you see the swerve on that ball? I'm pretty sure if we'd have used time finishing, it would have worked the same way. Problem is, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that. So, I've actually got no idea what I'm doing when it comes to finishing at all. So this year's probably going to be interesting, let's say it like that one. But for me, my teammates, it was a difficult start. We had a couple of early chances which we potentially should have scored, but ultimately didn't manage to do it. We did get the joint best Derby player, though, on the day, so I feel like that's going to earn us enough credits in order to be able to keep us at the club. And that way, hopefully, then, we'll actually make more appearances under Frank this season. For the rest of the 2 pre-season games in the group stage, sadly, Derby didn't make it out of the group. We weren't picked for either of those 2 games. It ended up being a draw in the second one and then a loss in the third one. So, unfortunately, not picked for either one, but that was so a couple of other people could get a little, shout in there and see if they were good enough to play in this Derby side. But I think we did enough from game 1 personally. The keeper made 2 really good saves. Both of our shots were on target. We did what we needed to do in that regard. So I felt like we could stay at the club. Now, a little bit different this year. I wanted to get into it nice and early. I wanted to get into Championship football from episode 1, wasting absolutely no time at all because I know that you guys want to witness us playing in the actual league. So, skipped right until the beginning of the season, where it was Derby facing Reading, and we were given a call-up by Frank Lampard to represent this Derby team and actually make our full debut in Derby colours here in the Championship, away at Reading, though. So, a tough place to come, but I feel like we can get the job done. You can see the Reading team there, 4-4-2, Bodvarsson, their talisman up top. For us, though, you can see us there, right there, wearing the number 26 shirt for this season. Mason Mount in behind us, a very, very good cam. I've got my eyes on Mason Mount. I think he's going to have a good season at Derby. But he's going to have to feed us a little bit if we want to try it and score some goals. However, it was Reading who actually started the game off the better of the two teams. Aluko's cross towards the middle, met in the box, and it ended up being a header to open up the scoring. Now, I have a problem. Crossing, I feel, will definitely get addressed by EA, because it's pretty ridiculous, to be fair. If you win a header in the box, you're likely to score. 50-50 headers, I don't think that's a thing. If you've got the taller player, likelihood is they're going to win it every time, which plays a factor in real life, but at the same time, like that right there came from absolutely nothing. So, it was just a disappointing way to concede. And then David Myler found Mo Barrow. He had a shot which was well saved by Scott Carson in the Derby goal. And with 14 minutes to go on Frank Lampard's debut as a manager, it just wasn't going to plan. Everything was going wrong. But they dug deep, Derby. And even though Reading had another opportunity right here, as again, it was somewhat kept out, Reading, they lost concentration because we were able to create a chance. We found a pass towards Mason Mount, who brought the ball under control before feeding Anya, who laid it in. And out of absolutely nowhere, Frank Lampard's Derby County were back on level terms with 5 minutes to play. We got involved in the celebrations, though, because we did play a part in it. It was Bryson's effort, but it would have been a free kick on us. We were fouled, no doubt about that. But it actually wasn't us who obviously got the assist. It was just we played the pass in order to start the move going itself to Mason Mount, who then laid it off. And eventually, it was Bryson who put the ball in. So, first game of the Championship season, done and dusted. Unfortunately, we couldn't get ourselves a win with this Derby side. We didn't actually even have a shot, personally, from our perspective, in terms of us up front. But we did get involved in the play. That's what I wanted us to do. You know, we needed to help the rest of our teammates, get them into the game, and try as hardest to be able to actually make something happen. So, a 1-1 draw away from home at Reading, I don't think is a terrible result. It is what it is. You know, you have to take them as they come. But then we face a tricky test. Leeds United travelled to Pride Park here in order to take on this Derby side. And you'll remember, Leeds play a very high press sort of style, which I don't think Derby really have got to grips with yet. So if they come here and do it, it's going to be a very, very, very difficult game. But Pride Park is the ground, of course. That's our first home game as a Derby player in terms of competitive home game, because we did feature in the earlier stages. But I think actually that was away in the, yeah, it was the preseason toss. It would have been away from home. But still, we are leading the line again for Frank Lampard as we're trying to make our name for ourselves. Just trying to get in this team, get on Lampard's good side and try and basically keep our place within the side. But of course, our job is to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what a striker's paid to do. So we're going to have to try and do that within the next few games here. But again, very much like they were in the first game, Derby didn't come out the blocks swinging here. A very, very poor early start as Patrick Bamford leads the line for Leeds today. He was involved with this move, finding Lewis Baker, who instead chose the diving header. That I think personally he should have just gone with a shot. I don't know why he chose to go with the diving header there. But Samu Size again, another one of the difficult players who's pulling the strings out there. It was Adams Forshaw's ball though, which found its way to Jack Harrison. And he put the away side in front in the 52nd minute. So for the second time running here, Derby County are down by 1-0 and going to have to fight their way back into the game. It was a brilliant strike by Jack Harrison. Not a lot Scott Carson could have done in the Derby goal. But look at this. Absolutely thunderous from Jack Harrison. And yet, we are still to have a shot up front. So we don't really get much service in this Derby side thus far. But we were involved again for the equalising goal, like we were at Reading. No assist, but a major part in it. Lovely turn as we evaded the defender before feeding the ball in. And then it was laid through for Fawn to smash in an equalising goal. So again, not had a shot, which is obviously not great because our job is to put the ball in the back of the net. But that turn right there, felt we did bits with that. I was so happy with myself when we pulled that off. But there you go. A lovely ball through. and then Thorne smashes in the equalising goal. So back game on here at Pride Park, and anything is going to be possible. Both teams really wanting to give this one their all. Unfortunately, though, it didn't really go to plan. We had a chance with 9 minutes to go. You can see a nice move from Derby as eventually we play a through ball towards Mason Mount, who's just onside, and a great save from Peacock Farrell is the reason why this one stayed 1-1, and it's also the reason why it ended 1-0, because Barry Douglas had a shot late on, which he didn't catch right. It went wide of the woodwork, and that summed up the game. So 1-1 draw for the second time in as many championship games. 2 1-0 draws, one away from home at Reading, and then, of course, the home game there at Pride Park against Leeds. So 2 difficult starting games, but we didn't lose either of them. That's the positive. The negative is that we are yet to register a shot in this Derby side, and that's not even me joking. I'm being serious. We haven't even had a shot yet. So service lacking a little bit, but at least we're involved. At least we're actually making things happen. So when Notts County appeared and they came to Pride Park for a Carabao Cup trip, this will be the best case scenario. We need to get some confidence flowing through our veins, grab a goal, see if we can do that. If we can, that might stem us forward and hopefully start to give us a little bit of an eye for goal, if you will. So not going to be a pushover, but of course they are a lower league opposition. So you would like to think that Derby are going to control the game here and actually create opportunities. Martin Waghorn actually is yet to get in this Derby side, and that's because we're keeping him out of it. But if we don't put the ball in the back of the net, then we won't keep him out for much longer, as we do have an effort inside the 28th minute. Finally a shot registered, but it actually didn't even go on target. So, yep, not exactly what I was looking for from the game, but at least we were showing a positive that we were willing to take that shot on from the edge of the area. But unfortunately, another cross whipped in, which Derby don't deal with, and Notts County take the lead inside the 53rd minute. This is going to be a problem for Derby this season, I think. Wide areas, closing down crosses, not letting them come in, because when they do come in, usually they score. Now for us, I mean, we may as well just be a cam, because all we're doing is spraying passes left, right and centre across the field of play, because we lay in the ball, which finds its way to Ledley, and he smashes in the equaliser to make it 1-1. So for the third time in as many games, we're going to have a 1-1 draw with 5 minutes remaining. I don't know what is quite happening here. In the Brighton series, we are the 1-0 connoisseurs. We keep winning the game by a 1-0. Seems like in this save here with the my player, we're going to be having a similar situation, except it's going to be 1-1s that seem to be our foretold. But it's a lovely finish from Joe Ledley. You can't deny it. That is sheer quality. But take nothing away from the pass that we play into him to actually allow that to happen. So we might not need to be able to shoot ourselves, but at least we can actually assist the rest of our teammates. As the final whistle went here, I actually forgot that it does actually go straight to penalties. There is no extra time in the earlier stages of the Carabao Cup anymore. It just goes straight to penalty kicks. So I was quite intrigued for this, because you guys are now going to get to see a penalty shootout already in episode 1 of the series. Are we going to miss it, though? That's the question. You guys know my penalties suck, so we'll see if I score or if I do, in fact, miss, as it was 1 apiece until Bryson stepped up, and he missed. Brilliant. Well done, mate. Making it 1-1 still, but we've taken the extra penalty. Kellett stepped up for Notts County, and luckily he would also miss. So, I mean, didn't matter that Brighton missed it. Then it was our turn. At 1 apiece, we took the third spot kick. Wearing the number 26, we shot to the right-hand side, got it right in that bottom corner. The keeper didn't even dive, and we were able to find our first goal. I'm going to call it a goal, even though it's from the penalty spot, in Derby colours. Obviously, it doesn't count as a goal because it doesn't actually give us it as a competitive goal, but still, yet to score, to step up and take a penalty. We obviously had to score from the short period that it was there. So we were leading the shootout when it came to Dennis's spot kick for Notts County. If he misses, we go through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. If he scores, it's all down to the last spot kick taker for Derby. Major credit to Dennis, because he stepped up and he did in fact score, sending the keeper the wrong way in the process as well. But all it meant was that it was time for Derby's final spot kick. If they score, they go through. If they miss, they have to warrant Scott Carson saving or Notts County missing. But it didn't matter, because number 7 steps up confidently and scores Derby's winning penalty. Wilson, the winning penalty kick taker. So, still no goal in Derby colours that's actually coming from a striker. But we've had an assist. We've played a part in the other 2 goals that have gone in as well. And we've scored a penalty. All in all, I don't think we've had a bad start to life at Derby County. We just need to find a goal. Otherwise, there is that little bit of me that thinks potentially Waghorn may well find his way into the side, and we will be then put on the bench. But the final game, guys, is going to come here for you guys to watch. Millwall away at the Den, as we all know, on the travels again. I forgot to mention the first 3 games that you guys watched, the 2 in the league and the one against Notts County, in fact, also including the pre-season tour friendly as well, they were all on ultimate difficulty. I dropped it to legendary for this one here to see if it made much of a difference, because as you know, I don't think the difficulty really makes that much of a difference in how the 2 teams match up against each other. It's obviously just how easy that you controlling your player can actually just run through them. So, played on legendary for this one, decided to just drop it down and see what was going to happen. Largely didn't make much of a difference here, as inside 5 minutes, Derby County, for the first time in this episode and the series, were 1-0 up in the game. It came from Mason Mount as we jumped in the area to try and attack the header. It eventually was clear, but not cleared well enough, and Mount found his way through, and he would put Derby 1-0 in front at the Den. Good start to the game, and that hopefully now will make Millwall have to come out a little bit more. But then this happened. Oh my goodness me. Morrison scores, right? Not a problem with that. My problem is the Scott Carson goalkeeping in the Derby goal. Frank Lampard on the touchline would have been going absolutely ballistic with his number 1. Look at this. It's a hopeful ball towards Morrison, brings it down, and then just has a hopeful effort goalwards, which Carson gets completely wrong, and it goes in. There is no reason that Scott Carson there should be beaten by that. That should be a routine save for the goalkeeper, and he should be making it every day of the week. But hilariously, he wasn't actually the worst player on the pitch for Derby. Nope, that accolade went to us as we missed from 5 yards. 19th minute, corner or cross-whipped in. I know it's on our weaker foot because traditionally we are left-footed, by the way, guys, for anybody wondering. But even so, we missed from 5 yards. So the accolade of worst player for Derby out there wasn't even Scott Carson. That was going to us. And in the 37th minute, a delightful cross in towards the back post. And we couldn't keep our header down. It's just not our day today. We're still searching for that first goal in Derby colours. And we're going to continue to search for it because we've had 2 massive chances and squandered both of them. Both of them off target here. Things got even worse. They got even worse because 40 minutes gone. I don't know what to say. Bottle job. That's what we are. We are a bottle job. 3 shots in the game. 3 really good chances to find our first Derby goal. And we missed all 3 of them. And the game, for the 4th time in today's episode, finished 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if we scored on our debut of FIFA 17. Not sure if we scored, debut episode, of course. Not sure if we scored in the FIFA 18 debut episode. But for FIFA 19, after the first episode has been played, we haven't found the back of the net. And it wasn't without trying, because we had chances in that game there. So, unfortunately, you're still waiting for your first DJWood goal in the My Player Career mode for FIFA 19. And that wait will continue for Frank Lampard's men as we sit 14th place after the first 3 league games in the Championship. But guys, that is it for today's episode. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. Of course, the series is back for FIFA 19. We will be doing a live episode next time for you all. Hopefully we'll find our first goal in Derby colours as well. But until then, guys, if you're not already subscribed and you are new around here, like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. Alongside that is a notification bell. Click that and you'll never miss an upload of this series. And I'm excited to bring it to you guys. Just got to improve our finishing. That's the only thing. But until next time, guys, stay tuned for more. Catch you all again. Adios.